64 meetings at PNC Arena. Trey Steins, Jeffrey Anderson, Jeb Hartness on the whistle tonight, and the Deacs get the tap. And away we go with the 255th meeting all time between State and Wake.
And here's Jaden Taylor matched up against Miller.
And here's Horne defending Carr, and he poked it away from behind. Taylor with the early Deacon turnover.
Wake Forest turned it over 20 times against Florida State, 17 times against Virginia. They can't do that tonight.
Horne misses the jumper, had a big night at Louisville on Saturday. Second shot no good. Burns couldn't control it. DJ Horne had 27 points. Here's a look at Steve Forbes' lineup tonight for Wake Forest. The Gonzaga transfer Salas on the board first.
And those three guards, Miller and Salas and Hildreth, are a load for anybody. And Salas is a guy, when he drives, he's not often looking to go all the way to the basket. That pull-up jumper is a really big part of his repertoire.
So here's Burns and Reed squaring off. Carr trying to help on the double, deflected the pass that was, I think, intended for Parker. 8 to shoot. Here's Morcell against Miller. Fall away. Rims away, and the rebound for Efton Reed.
That could be a pretty good matchup if that continues for North Carolina State, because Morcell has a size advantage, can get in there and shoot that turnaround jumper.
Here's Parker defending Carr. Into the lane, the turn and bucket for the Delaware transfer, the senior Westchester PA, Andrew Carr. And a look at the Wolfpack starters for Kevin Keatts tonight. Horne, Taylor, Parker, Morcell, of course, and Burns. Here is Taylor on the drive. The contact and the and one for Jaden Taylor. And a first foul on Efton Reed for Wake Forest.
And that's a big foul because it's early, and Reed is a guy who tends to have foul problems from time to time. And that's a situation, Wes, where he didn't jump straight up. He jumped in to Taylor on the drive.
NC State 82.8% at the line in conference play. That's third best. And the free throw and the three-point trip for Indianapolis junior Jaden Taylor.
And making that free throw, scoring, allows NC State to set its pressure.
Miller, a lead for Carr. Caught it and scored. Boy, what a look ahead by Luke Miller.
Wes, that was millimeters that went over the fingertips of Parker. What a great pass. Man-to-man for both teams.
Here's Burns and Reed again. PJ, a shot fake, now going to back down. Reed, fall away. Got it. Wow. Sixth best field goal shooter in the ACC is Dwight Lamar Burns Jr. and a Wake Forest turnover. Miller took his eye off of it, and it'll belong to NC State, trailing 1. Kevin Keatts tonight in Raleigh. He's been under the weather for about 5 days. He's got the mask on tonight because, as he told us today, I don't want to get my players sick. He's been fighting a little bit of a bug, and here's Burns, a 3 out front. DJ Burns now 0 for 4 this year from behind the three-point line.
Well, I think, Wes, that Wake Forest would like him to shoot that.
Yeah, sure. I'm not sure his coach wants him to shoot it.
I can guarantee it. His coach does not.
Baseline, here's Hildreth. Squeezes it into Salas at the left corner, who knocks down a 3. And then turns and has a word for the Wolfpack bench on his 36th three-pointer of the year.
It's a nice job again. If you get inside that defense, Wake Forest does a nice job passing it out for jump shot.
There's the double team on Burns. Inside, Morcell to catch and score.
Burns is just a marvelous passer, Wes. And one of the reasons is he's so patient. The double team comes and he doesn't panic at all. He surveys the court and finds the open man.
2-point lead for the Deacons. Salas had it stripped away. That was Horne. This is Morcell. He's got to beat Carr and Hildreth. And Carr recovered to block it off the glass.
Wow, that's really a good play by Carr, but it's a tough job by Morcell. He went 1-on-2, and there's another turnover.
Jeffrey Anderson, the 4th turnover on Wake Forest. And Steve Forbes, who's got 62 wins in his 4th season in Winston-Salem, 358 in his 9 years, is fired up already at the Deacon bench. Unforced errors really frustrate the Wake Forest head coach.
Wes, and here's an interesting substitution for Wake Forest. Marsh is in the game.
Yeah, first time in 7 games, and there's a state turnover. And here's Salas, and he tried to finish, and Horne's going to get ticketed with the reach by Jeb Harkness.
Each of these teams, Wes, would like to get out and run. They're not like racehorse teams, but each team plays better in transition. And they like to get out and go, and you have to protect the ball. You cannot take bad shots. You cannot turn the ball over.
So here's Salas at the line. First of 2 free throws is good. He is an 80% free throw shooter. Hunter Salas, 6'5", 185-pound junior, Omaha, Nebraska, started his collegiate career at Gonzaga. Made history in his home state, Dan. He was the first ever 5-star basketball recruit in the state of Nebraska.
He's a pretty good player.
Oh, he is a heck of a player. He's got 7 of the 11 Wake Forest points here early. Horne. Fall away over Salas. Bounces around and falls in off the front iron. First basket for DJ Horne.
And he's more than just a three-point shooter. He can get in the lane. He's got really good lift on that jump shot.
Center of the floor. This is Miller working on Horne. Marsh tried to help with a screen, and boy, Middlebrooks read it well. Wake lost it, but Salas saves the possession. To Carr with 5 to shoot. Here's a handoff from Miller against Morcell. On the drive, and with the clock winding down, the jumper rattled out, and then 3 Wolfpack players were there, and the ball went out of bounds off NC State. Wake will have it in a 2-point lead when we continue from Raleigh.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
Auto Owners insures your car. Because sometimes something from out of left field can literally come from out of left field. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
Being the best takes hard work. It takes early mornings, planning, precision, sweat, sacrifice, and teamwork. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in their game. Old Dominion Freight Line, helping the world keep promises.
It's bow time. Get fired up tonight because Bojangles has your dinner covered. Southbound, scratch made. Not one of these, but one of these. That's more home cooking for your money. Or as we like to say, cha-ching. It's bow time.
Our generation isn't turning away from the world's problems. Watch us fly ahead, rise to every challenge, and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Icon of the Seas, arriving 2024.
Monica's dad taught her how to float. 30 years later, she taught him how to retire. You were made to be rechargeable. We were made to combine flights and hotels for less.
It feels wonderful to make the jump from a career in the fashion industry to one of the best schools in the country.
To maximize performance, you find the most powerful server hardware you can. But now you can supercharge your hardware to deliver 100 times more containers. Cove SDM, the first software-defined memory solution. Achieve more at cove.com.
When you stay at a Vrbo, the host doesn't stay with you. Because without privacy in your vacation home, it isn't really a vacation, is it?
Well, here in Raleigh, Wake Forest with a 2-point lead at 11-9. Great to have you for game 1 of our doubleheader. Clemson, Georgia Tech to follow tonight. Dan, it feels like this is Wake's offensive prowess against NC State's defensive sturdiness.
Well, certainly that's the storyline, Wes, because Wake is one of the best offenses in the ACC. Right at the moment, it's NC State's defense that's keeping them in check by forcing turnovers.
Yeah.
I mean, Wake Forest has made 4 of their first 5 shots. Here you get a look at their numbers in ACC play. There's a lot of ones over there on the right side.
Yeah, all of them are ones, including the 9.6 threes. They had 10 in their win against Virginia on Saturday. They've made 9 or more in each of their last 4, 10 or more in 3 of their last 4. So it's coming conference competition. Which kind of pops off the page when you think of the power they have, especially on the perimeter. Hildreth working on Diarra. Fallaway is good. First points for the young man from England, Cameron Hildreth, who averages 17.5 against the league.
Well, Hildreth, he likes to get inside and play with his back to the basket at 6'4", but normally he's not doing that against a 6'10" guy like Diarra.
O'Connell, foul line jumper, good. Boy, Michael O'Connell had 11 points at Louisville the other day, including 3 threes. His last 4 games, he's had 25 assists and just 4 turnovers. He's been doing a lot of work in terms of ball distribution, but if his shooting stroke is starting to catch up, that's good news for Kevin Keatts.
And he really has been effective for me. 3 of those 4 turnovers came in one game, the Louisville game.
Here is Carr on the drive. Middlebrooks challenges and draws the foul. First on Ben Middlebrooks, the transfer from Clemson. It'll be number 2 on the Wolfpack.
Everybody talks about the big 3 for Wake Forest, and justifiably so, but Carr is the 4th guy on that team that averages in double figures.
You're talking about Miller, Hildreth, and Reed, or Salas,
yes.
The 3 guards.
Yeah, now, Carr is under double figures. He's 8 points a game in ACC play. But, I mean, this is a 1,000-point career scorer. He's a guy who can make a 3. At 6'11", he's a very good rebounder.
He did some off-season work in the weight room. Steve Forbes wanted him to get stronger. And we had a chance to see him early last year. He was not nearly as put together from a physical standpoint. I think it's helped him.
Well, I think it has too. And he's a guy, he doesn't force anything.
He's had 3 20-point games this year. And had double figures on Saturday in the run against Virginia. Wake Forest lead is 3. O'Connell hesitates. Out front, Taylor. Wolfpack hadn't hit a 3 yet. Taylor will offer. Diarra the rebound. That's what he does best, too. The Missouri transfer gives NC State a new shot clock.
If you're going to get those long rebounds, if there's going to be those long rebounds, you have to get them. And Taylor, he's a guy who's willing to attack as well, Wes.
Hildreth the foul, his first. Second on Wake Forest. And Jaden Taylor, who Kevin Keatts regards as their best defender, will go to the free throw line where he is 77% on the year. I already told you NC State's almost 83% of the team. Taylor misses. Don't forget, we've got a big basketball doubleheader for you on Saturday. Get you started in Tallahassee at 4 o'clock. Mike Monaco and Randolph Childress will be there for Clemson and Florida State. Then Jay Alter, Malcolm Huckabee have Virginia, Georgia Tech, and Atlanta. Coach Bonner and I will be in Cameron for the second meeting in 12 days between Pitt and Duke. Blue Devils had the week off after the win last Saturday.
Well, the Blue Devils are a little bit banged up. They need the week off.
Yeah, Mitchell and Roach.
And Duke is a funny team, Wes. They've had some injury issues. Nothing serious this year, except Proctor missed 4 or 5 games. And so they're still putting things together.
Taylor hit the back end of the 3 on the free throws a moment ago. Missed by the Deeks. Horne at the other end, and Reed two-hand swats that toward the students in the end zone.
And that's one of the things that Reed gives Wake Forest that they don't have without him. He just follows the basketball. That looks impressive, swatting it out of bounds. But if he can get it with both hands, maybe he just should have grabbed it.
Last time anybody in these parts ever blocked one out of bounds like that was when David Thompson got Bonner back in the day.
No, that wasn't a hard thing to do.
There is a foul on the drive by Horne. And
who'd you get?
That's Salas.
Okay.
His first.
Well, and see, that's the other thing. When NC State, they like to drive the basketball and force Wake to get into their depth. The Deeks basically play 7 guys.
Baseline, and it drops in. Horne. My goodness.
Well, I'm telling you, Wes, that little turnaround jump shot that he has, he's rattled around a couple of times now.
NC State's playing with Horne, Woods, and O'Connell, Diarra, and Middlebrooks. And here is Salas out in the midcourt area. Bypasses the Efton Reed screen and then poked away Diarra. Mo Diarra on the drive, took the contact and draws the foul.
And did they get Salas again? Did he commit that foul?
I think it is the third on, or the second on Hunter Salas.
Boy, and that's a big foul right there.
Sure is. Fourth on Wake Forest. The second on the Gonzaga transfer. Comes with 12:36 to play in this first half and a couple of free throws for a guy who I think's game is kind of a gap filler for all the things NC State needs that they don't get from other guys, Mohamed Diarra. The rebounding figures alone for Diarra, he's averaging 8 rebounds in ACC play. He had 18 in the overtime win at Boston College that started their conference play. Last 2 ball games, he's averaged 7 points and 6.5 rebounds.
He's a really valuable guy off the bench, Wes, and you just saw one of the reasons why. He's really fast. He went down there. That's the second time we've seen NC State attacking a 1-on-2 situation.
They went to Wolfpack. Have forgotten to shoot free throws. They are 2 of their first 5. They're 83% in conference play coming in. Carr a 3 over Diarra. Andrew Carr has 8 now in this first half. That's his 15th 3 of the year.
But if you're in North Carolina State, you can't overhelp, and that's what happened that time. Diarra got into the lane trying to help out, and the defense actually out on the perimeter was pretty good. Just can't get that far away from Carr.
3-point game. O'Connell on the drive. Tried to feed Middlebrooks. Taken away by Reed. Here are the Deeks in transition. Miller trying to beat O'Connell to the baseline. Into traffic and a foul will be called, and that is on Michael O'Connell. Transfer from Stanford. It'll be his first. It's the third on the Wolfpack. Breaking the action in Raleigh. Wake Forest leading by 3 on ACC Network.
Every year, thousands of athletes disappear in clutch moments due to falling hydration levels.
They've been told how you feel yourself doesn't matter. Then just like that, they're gone. Get yourself back in the game. Get yourself a Gatorade.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel.
It's bow time. Get fired up tonight because Bojangles has your dinner covered. Southbound, scratch made. Not one of these, but one of these. That's more home cooking for your money. Or as we like to say, cha-ching. It's bow time.
Hi, you might know me from my other job, but I'm a business owner too. Here at Once Upon a Farm, we chose the new Capital One Venture X business card. With no preset spending limit, our purchasing power adapts to meet our business needs. Love it. And unlimited double miles means we earn more too. Sweet, right? And when we travel, we get access to over 1,300 airport lounges. I could get used to this. The Capital One Venture X business card. What's in your wallet?
Drive. It's what propels the champions, the comeback kids, the underdogs. It means constantly improving, striving, hungry. It's no excuses, no days off, or no glory. It's Drive.
Lunch?
Yes, please.
That'll be $23.
Your ad says it's free.
It is for our Economy Ultimate passengers who paid extra.
I'll just have water.
Okay, cash or card?
For water?
Well, at AT&T, when we offer you our best iPhone deals, we guarantee it. Even on the new iPhone 15 Pro. Check it out, made with titanium.
We do have free movies with the purchase of headphones.
I'll just use my iPhone.
Only AT&T gives everyone our best deals on any iPhone with any popular plan. Guaranteed. Get iPhone 15 Pro on us.
Team, it's been a grind, but I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show 'em who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach!
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
Kevin Keatts, who's fighting a little bit of a bug, and that's why he's got the mask on tonight, trying to keep his team healthy. And Steve Forbes, they knew this would kind of get gritty, grimy tonight. Field goal percentage kind of reflects some of that. Kevin Keatts has got 13 attempts, only 6 makes. Forbes' team 6 of 8, Dan.
They've gotten good shots, and Wake Forest, when they get good shots, they're very good offensive players. I think the key for North Carolina State, Wes, they've got those 5 extra shots because they forced 5 turnovers. They have 3 offensive rebounds. The problem with the turnovers is they have yet to convert any of those into points.
Yeah. Miller, Hildreth, Carr, Reed, and we get our first look tonight at Parker Fredrickson, 6'3" freshman from Bixby, Oklahoma, wears number 20. And we got a foul as the ball was put in play, and it's against Cam Woods.
Trying to keep the ball out of the hands of Miller. That's a pretty good idea.
4 on NC State, and there is Carr on a clean catch and score. Boy, Andrew Carr is off to a terrific start. He's first player in double figures now with 10.
Well, again, we talked about him. He's the forgotten guy on that 4 double-figure scores. Can't leave him close to the basket. He's 6'11" after all.
Yep. Here's Burns and Reed going back to their 2-man game at the block. Carr coming to help. Burns got a pass deflected. Now here's Miller with another NC State turnover. 3 on the Wolfpack.
That's a great double team by Carr. Hands up the whole time.
Right.
And remember, we keep saying it, he's 6'11".
Here goes Fredrickson. Kick out for Reed. Standing 3 is good. Efton Reed the third, his 3rd 3 of the year. Pushes Wake's lead to its largest here this first half at 8.
Yeah, he's an 18% three-point shooter. Well, that's a bonus for the Deeks.
Off the Burns screen, Woods into traffic, pushed it up and in. Cam Woods, who did not play in games against Virginia and North Carolina, played 10 minutes, scoreless the other day at Louisville, is on the board. Back to a 6-point Wake lead. Look at Miller now. Fall away right there in front of Woods is good. Boy, Kevin Miller, boopy to everybody, has got his first points.
Well, he is really good at getting into the lane with that little turnaround. And he's fast enough. You want to prevent him from getting all the way to the basket, but he really nullifies that strategy with his ability to shoot that pull-up.
Here's Woods on the drive. Yep, traveled with it. Jeffrey Anderson called it. So an 8-point lead on another NC State turnover. Don't forget, Sunday is Ladies' Day here on ACC Network. We got a women's doubleheader. Starts in Raleigh at noon. Pam Ward, Stephanie Whiter on hand for number 4 NC State and Duke. And then number 13 Louisville, number 23 North Carolina at Carmichael Arena. Jen Hildreth, Kelly Jamlin will be there for that contest presented for you by Food Lion. All on ACC Network and also available on the ESPN app. Here is Fredrickson, who played 12 minutes on Saturday in the win against Virginia. Comes in averaging almost 7 against the conference. Pretty nice for a young freshman in a backup role for Steve Forbes. Carr out of the corner. 10 to shoot for Hildreth, and that's a long 3 that misses badly. And here's Horne trying to create the break all the way down. Scooped it with the left hand. Diarra got the rebound, fell down. That's a travel. Now, Dan, the crowd's going to boo here. That's a good call by Jeb Hartness on the baseline.
Well, it's the only call he can make. That's the rule. If you catch the ball with it and then fall down, that's a travel. And this is, I mean, he thinks he's going to beat Fredrickson, but Carr is right there and does a wonderful job going straight up in the air. Diarra possesses the ball, comes to the ground, and then falls down. By rule, that's a traveling violation. Now, 5 turnovers for North Carolina State.
8-point lead for Wake Forest. Deacons 9 of 12 from the floor. That is a strong cup of coffee here early for Forbes' team. Efton Reed left hand. There's the miss.
Nice job by Burns forcing him to just shoot over.
Lob at the post. Here's Burns. Respins on Reed. Forced it up. It bounds away. Hildreth got the rebound.
It's amazing how he can get that shot off.
Yep. He read the screen or the double team from Carr perfectly and went back toward the baseline. Just couldn't finish the jump shot.
Now, if you're Miller, you got to come and get the ball like you just did. You can't stand there and wait for it.
Hildreth squares. Too strong.
Well, now he's got to adjust to the left a little bit.
Either that or back up.
Well, because he's missed both of the shots in the same place. I think he hit the same part of the backboard twice in a row.
Meanwhile, NC State's had 3 turnovers in consecutive possessions, Dan.
Well, we talked about the fact that NC State forces turnovers. Well, their offense, really sputters, as everybody's offense does, if you turn it over.
Right. So Fredrickson will stay on the floor with Miller. Salas has returned, playing with the 2 fouls, by the way. So Carr and Reed are out there for Coach Forbes. Horne is there with Taylor, Morcell, Parker, and Middlebrooks to get DJ Burns' spot in New Orleans.
So what we've had the last couple of possessions is turnovers and shots off the backboard.
There's a block by Taylor, recovered, though, by Miller, and then the miss there recovered by Salas. Here's Miller, 3 in the corner, and it spins out. Parker the rebound.
And remember, Salas in the game has 2 personal fouls.
Here's Middlebrooks, back for Horne. Off the Middlebrooks screen, Reed to beat. He'll bounce it to Middlebrooks. Big Ben inside, scoop and score.
And Reed has to be careful because he's got an early foul. You don't want to pick up the second one, but that's a really nice job by Middlebrooks.
Middlebrooks has averaged 5 points in his last 4 off the bench. Under 8 to go. 6-point game. Fredrickson. Lob for Reed. Backdoor Carr to catch and flush.
That is a great cut by Carr. Reed had a shot, but it was going to be a tough one, and Carr bailed him out by just cutting down the lane. And Carr's matched up against Parker. He's got a 5-inch height advantage on him.
Here's Horne off the screen. Hanging 2. Good, and 1 more. Third field goal for Horne. I think the foul's going to be on Salas. And it is the 3rd on Hunter Salas. It'll be the 5th on Wake Forest. It'll get us to a timeout. A moment ago, here's Carr finishing off a nice pass from Reed. And then as we go to break, maybe a turning point in the game. Horne knocks the jumper down. Salas picks up his 3rd. We take a timeout in Raleigh.
Auto owners, insures your car. Because sometimes something from out of left field can literally come from out of left field. That's simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if auto owners make sense for you.
Make every minute count. Kia, movement that inspires.
Here at Papa John's, we know our stuff.
We know how to hand stuff our crust with more flavors than anyone else.
Like the blend of garlic herb ricotta and mozzarella in our new cheesy calzone epic stuffed crust pizza. We're talking the flavors of your favorite calzone, now stuffed right into the crust of your pizza.
I mean, no one stuffs a crust like Papa John's.
Get a new cheesy calzone epic stuffed crust pizza for a limited time, only at Papa John's.
It's how you fire up the team. Kingsford. It's how you do it.
Only Daisy Cottage cheese will do. Only Daisy Cottage cheese will do. Satisfying and fresh, so creamy and delish. Only Daisy Cottage cheese will do. Only Daisy Cottage cheese will do. So tasty, so pure. Can I have a little more? Only Daisy Cottage cheese.
Vision insurance doesn't do you any good if you don't use it. Just like this treadmill I bought that I keep saying I'll use, but never do. Yeah. Put your vision insurance to good use. Get 50% off your second pair. Book an exam today.
Who says you can't go for bold without going broke? Get the brands you want, the prices you want, whenever you want. TJ Maxx, where you can always afford to be you to the max.
I'm here courtside. Watch this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Watch this, watch this.
Watch me. Do
26-20 Wake Forest, 7.5 to go here in this first half. And Dan, a big development as we went to break. Third foul on Hunter Salas of Wake Forest.
And Salas, you got to understand how important you are to your team. Just let this one go. I mean, he doesn't even get close to blocking that shot, but he puts his arm on Horne's back, and the official basically has to call that. He had 7 points, as we just showed you, but he also has 4 rebounds. Yeah. He's been a key to the Deacs' success so far, and we're not going to see him for the rest of the half. Maybe not even to start the second half.
NC State 2 of 5 at the line, make it 3 of 6, 7 in the first half now for DJ Horne. So it's a 5-point game with 7.5 to go. Miller, Hildreth, Fredrickson, Carr, and Reed. And a takeaway. This is Parker to the basket and foul by Hildreth. Second on Cam Hildreth, Dan.
And suddenly the fouls are starting to pile up. And that's one with Hildreth. He's very aggressive, but again, maybe you just let that one go. The odds that you're going to block that shot are very small. Steve Forbes shaking his head. He goes into exactly the wrong place. You can't stop there. That is coffin corner.
Well, the Wolfpack, who've been pretty good at the free throw line, including 15 of 17 in Saturday's win at Louisville, all of a sudden hit hard times at the free throw line.
And they've left some points there, certainly, Wes. And we missed another one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Parker's only 59%, but the Pack is 3 of their first 8 at the free throw line. That combined with the turnovers, and maybe fortunate to only have it need 5, Dan?
I would think so. But Wake Forest has those 3 fouls on Salas. They've turned it over a bunch themselves.
There's a foul on Parker trying to fight through a ball screen for Reed. And Dennis Parker Jr., freshman from Richmond, draws his first and the 5th on the Wolfpack.
It has been a bit of an uneven game, Wes. A lot of turnovers. Wake only one.
There's another foul, and that's on Taylor for a hold on Boopy Miller.
And I think what you're seeing here, Wes, is the officials are trying to get this game under control.
Kevin Keatts wants a little bit of an explanation from Jeb Hardness before Cameron Hildreth puts the ball in play.
Yeah, but he's being nice about it. He's keeping that mask on.
Yeah. Oh, I see the over the top.
Yeah, he's hanging on to him.
So here's Carr, and now finally Miller.
Actually, the Wolfpack have done a great job containing Miller so far.
Wake's only hit 1 of their last 7. Fredrickson. Kind of a balky handoff from Reed. He'll take it all the way to the basket and score. And Parker Fredrickson's first points.
And that's unusual because mostly he's shooting threes.
Yep.
And I think that's what you expect from him. So he did a nice job taking advantage of the fact that they weren't playing him for the draw.
I think in conference play, that might be his 2nd or 3rd 2-point goal, Dan. Is that right?
His second.
To say he shoots 2s is might be overstating it. 9 for Horne on the runner there. So it's still a 5-point game. We come up on 6 to play. Midcourt area for Reed. Interested to watch Wake. They're kind of methodical with their press offense here, aren't they, Dan?
Well, they're trying to be. They don't want to turn the ball over, so they're just trying to be careful.
Middlebrooks, double team with Morcell. That ball got knocked away. Nice play by Parker. Here's Taylor ahead of the pack. He'll take it down, and it's blocked off the window. It'll count. Second field goal for Jaden Taylor, who now has got a half dozen in the first half. NC State is very connected on defense, Dan.
Well, they sure are, and that was just a situation where the cut was very, if you're going to cut through the lane against NC State, you've got to be very aggressive about it. And Wake Forest just wasn't, and Parker was able to step in and steal the ball.
7 turnovers for the Deacons now in this first half. That was Steve Forbes' #1 concern today. Can we do this without offering it up? Hildreth weaving through, pushed up with the right hand. Reed, a slap out. Wheeled around for Carr, and another 3. It's good. Andrew Carr having a half. He's now got 15.
Plus, he's made all his shots.
Sure has. 31-25. Wake Forest pushes it back to 6.
Which is big because neither Miller nor Hildreth have played particularly well offensively here in the first half.
Carr is 6 for 6 and 2 of 2 behind the line. Another runner by Horne. Have at it. DJ Horne's got 11. And he and Carr might want to just square off here. 31-27, back to a 4-point lead.
And that's the fourth basket by Horne of exactly that style.
Taylor defending Miller, or Parker defending Miller, and that's a foul on Reed, and that's his second. So Efton Reed commits his second, and it's the 7th on Wake Forest with 4:55 to play. 8th turnover on the Deacons.
Wes, and remember, Wake Forest basically plays 7 guys.
Yep.
And one of the things that Kevin Keatts talked about today was trying to attack them to get them in foul trouble.
And you see Burns is back on the floor because Zach Keller now has come on to replace Efton Reed. Keller is 6'10", sophomore from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, who only plays about 14 minutes a game in conference. Here goes Burns, up off the glass and in. Zach Keller's got to be ready because 3-0 and the White's going to touch it now.
It doesn't matter how ready Keller is. If they clear the side for him like that, then Burns is going to score every time.
2-point game, 4.5 to go in Raleigh in this opening half. Leaner by Miller, foul on Horne. State bench not happy. DJ Horne becomes the first NC State player with 2. 7 on State with 4:19 to go.
And he moves underneath him, Wes. I mean, that is a very quick shot by Miller. I think he surprised Horne with how quickly he got up. So he moved underneath him with the body, and you see Jeff Anderson tell him he hit him on the arm, and he did.
10th best free throw shooter in the ACC. Chicago's Boopy Miller knocks down the free throw. He's got but 3 here in the first half. He and Judah Mintz of Syracuse, the only 2 players in the ACC that are top 10 in scoring and assists coming into action tonight. Just a terrific, terrific addition for Steve Forbes' team. Second one good.
And Steve Forbes has shown himself pretty adept at getting terrific additions year in and year out.
I mean, Laravia, Alondis Williams, Tyree Appleby, right? Now Boopy Miller, Efton Reed, Hunter Salas. That old boy from Lone Tree, Iowa's in sales is what he is. He is in sales. State's hit its last 6. 4-point game after the free throws from Miller. And here is Burns now against Marsh. Here goes DJ Burns, left hand skyhook short. And it hit the end line. It'll belong to Wake Forest.
Wes, you mentioned this is the first time Marsh has played in 8 games, and the reason is because of that guy right there. They need to find a bigger body to match up against him.
Fredrickson, lead bounce pass. Carr has been. He wakes up, he's not going to believe what he's done in this first half. Under 4 to go. Miller all the way to the hole and scores.
And that's where he's most dangerous, Wes. How quick was that?
6 for Boopy Miller. Lead is 6 for Wake Forest. Parker slashing through all the way against Marsh. No foul call. Kevin Keatts is out on the floor. He is so fired up.
He's got to be careful. He doesn't want to get a second. Oh, he just got a second. Oh, my. Oh, wow.
Kevin Keatts. So a timeout, 2 technical fouls called on Kevin Keatts in a row with 3:32 to go in this first half.
Kevin Keatts has been thrown out.
So we will take a timeout. Kevin Keatts is with his team after receiving 2 technical fouls. 35-29 Wake Forest when we come back to Raleigh.
Bravo!
For buying a treadmill?
You use the Quicksilver card from Capital One. It's simple, with no annual fee and unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase everywhere. That makes you the hero of every purchase.
Yeah.
And heroes don't take the stairs.
Is this a parachute?
showed nonstop, making no money. Taco Bell was like the one place where you could actually
This new year, make a resolution to save at Toyota of Rock Hill. Resolve to take advantage of Toyota of Rock Hill's Real Zero Deal. 0 down, 0 payments for 3 months, and 0 cost maintenance. All backed by our rock-solid guarantee. And we honor all dealers' ads. This year, make a New Year's resolution you'll want to keep. Save with the Real Zero Deal at Toyota of Rock Hill, located minutes from Uptown at exit 79.
The most passion, the most intensity. This is the way basketball's supposed to be.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC. The competition's never been better.
I would never let a woman do that.
The stars have never been brighter.
Caitlin Carr, 3,000 career points. Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty. Ain't more magic.
Something brewing tonight. There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
35-29, Wake Forest in front, 3:32 to play. And here's the sequence.
Well, watch Marsh go straight up in the air, and all the contact is originally initiated by Parker. Now, I think at the end it's possible that Marsh gets him on the wrist, but that's offensive initiated contact. Kevin Keatts gets called for a technical foul, and he just refuses to leave. And the referee hits him with another one.
Right. So,
I mean, these guys, Wes, they'll give you one, and then they'll let you walk away, but Kevin Keatts just didn't.
So Kareem Richardson is sitting at the front of the bench with Levi Watkins, Joel Justice, Steve Snell. Meanwhile, Boopie Miller is shooting 4 free throws here.
Right, each of the technical fouls is 2 free throws. So there's Keatts on the court. That's the first technical foul right there. And the referee, you can see the referee holds out his hand and says, get back.
Right.
And Kevin Keatts doesn't, so he hits him with another one. Now, Wes, you get 2 free throws for each foul.
Right.
And then the play picks up where it stopped. So that means Wake Forest has the ball at half court. So the Deeks, they're going to get 4 shots and the ball.
And there's the 4th of the free throws. So Miller is 6 of 6 at the line. He's now got 10. The game is 10, and now Wake has its largest lead and the basketball with Hildreth and Miller on the floor with Marsh, Carr, and Fredrickson.
Yes, you can certainly understand Kevin Keatts being upset, but you tell your players all the time that they have to control themselves, and he just lost control.
Carr in the corner, and a foul will be called on O'Connell. And for Michael O'Connell, it'll be his second, and it's the 8th against NC State. So that'll put Carr at the line where he's having an unbelievable first half. And Andrew Carr has got 15 points. He is 1 of 2 at the line. That's the only place he's missed anything in this first half. Don't forget, we've got more gymnastics for you on ACC Network and the ESPN app on Sunday. Pittsburgh and number 19 Clemson is at Littlejohn Coliseum. Coverage begins at 4 o'clock Eastern on ACC Network. Carr hits both free throws.
Wesson, how many guys do you see jump at the free throw line? Carr does. He's got a little bit of jump at the end of his free throw.
10-0 run is put it to a 12-point advantage. Here's Burns going to work on Marsh. Left hand scoring. That's off balance and everything for his 3rd field goal.
Wes, I don't know that he's ever off balance. But that's where the Wolfpack has to go. They have to tighten it up on the defensive end, but on the offensive end, they've got to put the ball in the hands of DJ Burns.
Here is Carr with Fredrickson, and we're inside of 3 minutes to play. Miller trying to find his way, and he traveled with it. So the travel on Boopy Miller. We'll send it to the Wolfpack. Diarra is on the floor now with Burns. It's the 9th Wake Forest turnover.
Miller that time made a mistake. Fredrickson was all alone in the corner. He drew the defense and then tried to force the ball through all those arms.
Morcell, step back 2 at the right. Bounds away from Marsh. Dan, NC State's gone this entire half without a three-point goal. Here's Hildreth. Carr in traffic. Diarra there. Carr reroutes and scores. Andrew Carr has now got 19 in this first half. Couple of threes to his credit. 43-31, back to 12. Taylor trying to get through. Lost the handle on it, over the inline, out of bounds. It will belong to the Deacons.
That's a pretty good play by Marsh. You don't associate Marsh with moving his feet real quick laterally, but he did that time.
7 turnovers for NC State. Wake Forest has 9 in this first half. Miller, left corner Carr, first miss of the night from the floor.
Diarra might have gotten a little piece of that.
Taylor, here goes O'Connell. Back out front for Jaden Taylor. Burns going to help with a screen. Taylor got Marsh in the air and draws the foul. That'll be the first on Cornwall's Matthew Marsh. That's not Cornwall like North Carolina or Cornwall, Virginia. That's Cornwall in southwest England. Matthew Marsh, 21 years of age, this Englishman. Second year in Steve Forbes' program. He and Hildreth, both from England, and Steve Forbes took a trip back over there last summer with his basketball team. Very rewarding experience for the Deacons. Taylor free throw good. We visited with Cam Hildreth about it today. We were talking Premier League with Cam Hildreth.
Well, you were talking Premier League with Cam Hildreth.
Yeah.
I don't know a thing about the Premier League.
I was trying to get you up to speed with Cam Hildreth.
Well, and I appreciate that.
Hildreth, by the way, those of you I know are sitting at home, he is a Chelsea supporter. He is a generational Chelsea supporter. Said it was his dad and his uncle and his grandfather.
He was lamenting the fact that they've fallen on hard times.
He has. He was longing for the Lampard days, like most Chelsea supporters are. There's a foul on the Wolfpack that'll put Boopy Miller on the line. And that is going to be on Ben Middlebrooks, his second. He is the third NC State player with 2, joining O'Connell and Middlebrooks, or and Horne, rather, I should say.
Well, Miller has really, scoring those 4 free throws has really helped him.
Boopy Miller's got double figures with 6 free throws. And now make it 7. You know what? He started his career, Dan, at Central Michigan. He played just 4 games last year. He was preseason All-Mid-American Conference last year, but he was hurt after 4 games. 2 years ago, he averaged 13 points, 4.5 assists for Central Michigan. And it just goes to show you that sometimes this portal's an interesting thing from that light, right?
It absolutely
Guys that are hurt and miss a year, you don't know much about them. Alondas Williams, another Deacon who was terrific. A guy who was, a role player at Oklahoma, right? There's a foul called, and that's going to be on, it's a kick ball on Wake Forest, rather.
The difference is, Wes, that Alondas Williams was a transfer from Oklahoma, a high major school.
Sure.
And Boopy Williams comes from Central Michigan, which is, a mid-major. And so you just don't know, particularly after he hadn't played for a year, how he's going to react. He started a little bit slowly, but boy, has he come on.
Taylor got caught in the air, kicks it for Diarra. Inside a minute to go. Here's Mo Diarra, hard off the glass and got the bounce. First field goal for Diarra. 10-point game with 42 seconds left, so maybe a possession each way here left.
Where Miller can really drive you off with that dribble.
Out front here is Marsh. Stripped on the drive. Miller recovers. Shot fake. Kicks into the corner. Fredrickson.
You know, there were guys there, but I thought Miller had a chance to shoot that ball right on top of the basket. Kicked it out for three.
Yeah, Kareem Richardson, who is now the coach for the Wolfpack, after Kevin Keatts' ejection a couple minutes ago, will huddle up here for one possession.
We have breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes. What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
Might be
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Well, it's a 10-point game, and if you're just dialing our way, as they say, Kevin Keatts, a double technical foul with 3:31 to play in this first half. Kareem Richardson, who is it's a second-year assistant coach, did spend some time in Clemson with Brad Brownell, the former head coach at Missouri, Kansas City, the Kangaroos, by the way, Dan.
Okay, thank you.
From 2013 to 2019. And also spent time in Louisville, too. He's on Rick Pitino's staff. That's where the ties with Keatts are. Here is Taylor. And we're going to get a foul, and that is Abramo Zonka who commits the foul. 6'6", junior transfer from UCLA by way of Italy.
And Wes, that's a pretty good substitution. Zonka doesn't really play very many minutes, but he's very athletic. He's a good defender, so you put him in.
Yep.
Doesn't really matter if he fouls. And he puts Taylor, who, as you mentioned before, is not a good free throw shooter at the line for a 1-and-1.
Abramo does not have any points on the year. He has played tonight in his 10th game. And the front end of 1-and-1 miss. Just a really rugged night so far at the line for NC State. Here is Miller trying to get it to the corner. Fredrickson at the horn, and it will bound away. But Wake Forest is going to take a 10-point lead to the locker room at 45-35. Well, the news will be the ejection.
To reduce that tonight. They got to get more from Burns, too, though.
Yeah, DJ Burns and Efton Reed go to work on the first possession that belongs to the Wolfpack. There's the double team. Quick pass. Parker the layup. First field goal for Dennis Parker. First points of the night for Parker. And the Wolfpack with Kareem Richardson now. Kind of the head of staff over there across the way.
Hildreth just did a very poor job getting down to help out.
Here's Hildreth on the offensive end. Had it poked away from behind. That was Horne. Here's Morcell back for DJ Horne.
And that is the second time Horne has done that to Hildreth tonight. Remember, Salas has those 3 personal fouls.
Here's Horne slicing the lane, runner right hand.
How many times have we seen that tonight?
Well, he's got 6 field goals. I'm going to say all 6.
All 6. There you go. Good start here for the Wolfpack.
13 for Horne to within 6, blocked away from behind by Taylor on the Miller drive.
Now, Taylor does a nice job staying behind Wes and making sure he doesn't make contact. He kept some distance between himself and Miller. He's got a height advantage, and he used it.
Inbounds, Carr the catch. Back for Salas.
They got a mismatch inside.
Salas working at the foul line. Fall away over the top of Parker. Grazed the front iron.
That's a tough shot. They had Horne matched up inside against Carr. They missed it.
Horne, another floater. That one offline.
He wasn't as on balance as he has been with
Hildreth. Wow, got all the way to the iron on the bounce. Just 4 points for Cam Hildreth, Dan. That's the other thing about Carr's performance. You can accept reductions from Hildreth and Salas and maybe even Efton Reed to a degree, who's only got a 3-pointer to his credit in this first half.
Carr obviously was a big factor.
Burns working against Reed. Spins in traffic, scooped it up, wouldn't go, got it back, put it up, basket in one.
Wow. He took that shot against the double team. Burns is going to spin inside, and here there's 6'11" and 7 feet, and he gets the ball, and despite the fact that he gets hit on the forehead, he's still able to push it in the basket.
DJ Burns who went crazy go nuts against Wake Forest last year, had games of 31 and 23. Missed the free throw. Reed ends up over the table on the floor off the baseline. Wake at the other end, and we get a hand check foul on Parker.
Oh, now we're going to,
And I'm not sure what happened with Miller and Burns off the ball.
Well, Miller ran into the arm of DJ Burns, and I don't know whether Burns stuck his arm out there or whether that's just the size that Miller is. This is now 2 times in a row that Miller has had a shot block, and again, a really nice job maintaining the distance.
So Salas will put it in play. Foul was on Parker. First on the Wolfpack in the second half, and there goes Reed for his second basket. 5 for Efton Reed, the third.
And they're not going to help Burns out in there, and so Reed needs to keep the ball off the floor and get it up over Burns, but it's hard to shoot over Burns.
Here's Horne, foul line, good. 15 now for DJ Horne on his 7th field goal.
And he's been able to turn the corner, Wes, and get into the lane to make that shot 7 times.
6-point lead for Wake Forest. Reed and Salas trying to find something there offensively. Here's Carr on the drive and blocked and fouled by Burns. Now the Wolfpack crowd is going to get after Jeffrey Anderson from every whistle here on, because Anderson was the one that didn't call the foul on Parker when he challenged Marsh in the first half. It resulted in the double technicals and those proceedings. Similar play, similar spot on the floor at the basket, and the whistle's blown, and you can imagine the reaction. Foul gets Carr to the line. He's now got his 4th 20-point game of the year. And another one coming for Westchester PA's Andrew Carr. First 20-point game against the ACC this year, and he missed the second. Diarra the rebound. So Burns, Diarra, Horne, Morsell, and Parker on the floor for NC State, or Taylor rather. 1, not 11. And here's Hildreth off the NC State turnover. He's trying to get all the way down, and he's got stripped of it. Last touch by the Wolfpack.
That's a really good defensive play by Taylor. He's just going through everybody here.
Yep.
And coming from the right-hand side of your screen, that's a really good play by Taylor to reach in. Lots of times that gets called a foul, but he got away with it.
Miller clutched briefly on a 3. Skips for Salas, 3 out of the right corner. And Marsh tried to keep it alive. Wolfpack ends up with it. Taylor was towing the inline, says Trey Steins. It will belong to the Deacons.
Now, Marsh was trying to keep it alive, Wes, and he kept it alive well enough that North Carolina State couldn't control it.
And here comes Middlebrooks into the lineup to replace Burns. And that's Kareem Richardson, the assistant coach, who's now in charge of the team with the dismissal of Kevin Keatts. And in the lane and 1 for Boopie Miller. Foul will be on Taylor. His second. It'll be the 3rd on NC State as Miller works some magic in traffic here, Dan.
Miller works some magic in traffic, and maybe Taylor wasn't out of bounds according to that replay. The fans in here certainly didn't think he was.
So here is Miller. You see with the 14 trying to make it 15 at the line. And does.
Wes, he doesn't even hit the rim on his free throw.
15 now for Miller. The lead is 10 again. Here's Morsell. Step back over Salas. Good. Casey Morsell has got his second basket.
Well, Morsell has been quiet offensively, and the Wolfpack really needs an offensive contribution from him.
8-point game. Almost 4 minutes gone here. Marsh trying to help Hildreth with a screen. Now Miller. And he lost it. Diarra recovers. Saved to Middlebrooks. Here's a lead for Taylor. 3-ball on Carr, rattled out. NC State still does not have a 3 tonight. Skip for Salas. He'll launch a 3. Spins out on him.
And each team is comfortable with those threes in transition, Wes.
Taylor fouled. I think he was trying to bounce it toward Diarra. However, Wolfpack will have the ball. They trail 8. 4 minutes and change gone in half 2 in Raleigh tonight.
The Australian Open hits different on the networks of ESPN.
Breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes.
What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
You might be done.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me, do this.
The competition's never been better.
I would never let a woman do that.
The stars have never been brighter.
Caitlin Carr, 3,000 career points. Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty. Amor magic.
Some brewing tonight. There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
The most passion, the most intensity. This is the way basketball's supposed to be.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN.
Wake Forest leading by 8 over NC State. Deacons are 4-1, as are the Wolfpack with a win tonight. Wake Forest be their best 6-game start since 1996-97. The young boy from St. Croix, right? Tim Duncan, who had a terrific career with G. David Odom. I wonder if Coach Odom is looking in tonight from the Twin Cities. Best of Lynn and Coach Odom if they are, right, Dan?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dave Odom, a tremendous basketball coach, a wonderful basketball mind.
Of course, did a marvelous job with the Demon Deacons. Out of the timeout, Morcell the leaner. And the rebound, Marsh. The history for Wake Forest tonight. There's history on the line for NC State as well with a win. Here's Hildreth on the drive. Diarra affected it and then cleans up the miss. Ahead for Morcell. Casey on the drive, kicks out. Here's Horne. Thought about the three. Boy, Deeks have done a good job setting the perimeter. Marsh the rebound off the Horne miss. Dan, is it because Wake's committing so many resources to the perimeter defensively tonight?
Well, they're doing a nice job getting back on defense, Wes, and I think that's the first thing you have to do is you got to set your defense against the Wolfpack.
Almost turned over by Miller, tried to make the save. 10 to shoot. Carr's 25 feet away.
Miller's going to the goal.
5 to shoot. Diarra trying to help. Here goes Miller. Skip out. Salas thought about it. Put it up. Missed everything. Shot clock violation. 12th turnover of the night on Wake Forest.
And that's when they have struggled. This is a really nice job by Casey Morsell. First of all, forcing Salas to take that extra dribble and then pressuring the shot.
And with 14:34 to go, Carr checks out. So Carr and Reed are both on the bench. Zach Keller, who played briefly in the first half, the 6'10 sophomore from Colorado, is back out there for Coach Forbes.
Again, Wake is not a deep team. In North Carolina State, they're playing a lot of guys. They can wear you down.
Here's Taylor into traffic. Fall away 2. Bounces away. Middlebrooks crashes. Diarra finally claims it. Tried to take it back to the basket, and a foul is called, and it's going to be a pass. They're going to put them. That's going to be on the baseline.
A little bit smaller lineup now for the Deeks, and they really have to have everybody going to the boards. And here's what you're talking about. Wake Forest, we said they're not very deep. Only 2 points tonight off their bench.
Keller the foul, 3rd on the Deeks. Middlebrooks the rebound, shot fake, and a score. Second field goal from Middlebrooks.
Now the big guys are all trying to block the shot, and nobody blocked out Middlebrooks.
Yeah.
And Salas made a pretty good decision there getting away. He's got 3 fouls.
6 minutes gone, second half in Raleigh.
For everything that's gone wrong for North Carolina State, Wes, it's only a 6-point game.
Yep, runner, no good, rebounded Middlebrooks. Here's Horne, ahead for Taylor. He'll drive, feed Diarra, catch, and score. 4 for Diarra, Steve Forbes a timeout. Here come the Wolfpack now, and DJ Horne is the straw that's stirring the drink here now for NC State, Dan.
Well, they're doing a great job pushing the ball up. And that time, Diarra, I mean, the big guy, he just runs to the spot on the court right next to the basket. That always is a help. The Wolfpack only trail by 4.
I'm here courtside. Watch this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Watch this, watch this.
The competition's never been better.
Have never let a woman do that.
The stars have never been brighter.
Caitlin Carr, 3,000 career points.
Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty. A-more magic. Something brewing tonight.
There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
Breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes. What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
He might be done.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me do this.
Raleigh. We told you history for Wake Forest on the line tonight. How about NC State? They go to 5-1. It'll be their best start in ACC play since 1988-89. That year, the Wolfpack went 10-4 in the league. They won the regular season. Corciani and Rodney Monroe playing for Jimmy V.
Fire and ice.
Yep. There they are. Jerseys up there side by side. That seems appropriate, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
Yeah. See Coach every once in a while on these trips to Raleigh. Here's Boopy Miller and Wake Forest now protecting a 4-point lead. They led by 10 at the break. Here's Reed against Middlebrooks. Kick back for Miller, return to Reed. Middlebrooks right there, forces the miss.
That's maybe a step too far away for Reed. Nice job by Middlebrooks to maintain his ground.
O'Connell right back to Ben on the bounce. And he traveled. Yep. So the travel will bring Burns in the game. And DJ replaces Middlebrooks, who's not happy about the travel call. 10 turnovers on NC State.
They forced some turnovers, Wes, but they've also turned it over too many times themselves.
Yep. 7 minutes gone now in this second half. Salas playing with the 3 fouls. So is Efton Reed, by the way, on the floor, Dan.
The Wolfpack in this second half has done a nice job keeping Wake Forest out of the lane, and when they get in the lane, they've had tough shots. They're now 3 of 12 are the Deeks in the second half.
Taylor thought about it. TR going to help. Here's Burns with Reed there. They're going to clear it? Sure. 15 to shoot. Double team coming. Skips for O'Connell. Right corner. 3-ball Horne. Nope. And Reed had it. Got it back. Saved it to Hildreth.
They missed it, Wes, but that was great ball movement. All starting with the pass from Burns. Salas.
O'Connell trying to help. Inside Reed, right hand turn, got it. Efton Reed's third field goal. Big fella's got 7.
He did a great job getting position inside, and one of the reasons he was able to get that close is Horne and Burns switched off from Carr.
Second foul on Miller. He reached in on the pass from O'Connell. 4th against the Deacons, who lead by 6. Here in a very critical ACC game tonight.
It's different on the networks of ESPN.
The most passion, the most intensity. This is the way basketball's supposed to be.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
I'm here courtside. Watch this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Watch this, watch this.
Watch me. Do this. We have breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes.
What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
Might be done.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me. Do this.
Wednesday on ABC.
Added up shooting threes and I slam on them. Slam!
A new night every Wednesday in January. The league's biggest teams, the game's brightest stars.
We hold the rock, I got 2 hands on it. Half court, we shooting shots like we wide open. Woo!
NBA Wednesday on ABC. Home.
Well, we told you going to break, a big night in the ACC for these two. NC State 4-1, Wake 4-1, so is Florida State. Likewise, the scenario with Duke, who's got the week off before hosting Pitt on Saturday night. We'll see Carolina tomorrow night, Dan, against Louisville at Smith Centers on our ACC Network doubleheader. But this game right here, because they played twice, I think it also matters, right?
Well, I think it matters a great deal. NC State, you need to hold serve on your home court. They won a couple of games on the road, but you need to win your home games if you're going to contend.
Yep. One at Louisville on Saturday. Here's Horne out of the right corner. Bounds away from 3. It's been a cold night so far behind the line.
0 for 6. 0 for 6. Now in the second half, Wake Forest has not made a 3. They're only shooting 28%, Wes, after over 50 in the first half.
Yeah, both teams were over 50. Taylor got a hand on that pass from Miller that was headed for Hildreth.
Well, Miller that time probably passed that ball a little too early. He was able, I think he was past O'Connell, and it was DJ Burns waiting for him at the basket. That might have been worth a try to go all the way.
Yep. Miller out front for Reed. Back to Boopy Miller on the drive. Now for Salas, 5 to shoot. Now here's Carr. Clock winding down. Fires it up there. It's another shot clock violation. They play on. Taylor ahead for Horne. Right back for Jaden Taylor. On the drive and knocked to the deck. No foul. Here comes Wake in transition with Miller. Salas a triple. Got it. Hunter Salas now with 10. His second 3 of the night. And the Deacon lead back to 9 now.
That is a huge basket.
Horne uses 2 screens, tees one up from in front, and missed badly.
Well, as you said, they make almost 8 threes a game, and they still haven't scored a 3.
Yep. And we're going to get a foul called on Reed. That's his 4th. So 4 now on Reed. 5 it is on Wake Forest with 10:22 to play. Don't forget, women's college basketball comes up on Sunday here on ACC Network, 2 o'clock. We'll take you to Chapel Hill. Jeff Walls in Louisville. Visit Courtney Banghart's Tar Heels presented by Food Line. But we'll start today at historic Reynolds Coliseum. Duke and NC State at noon. Rushmore's team number 4 in the country, welcoming Carol Lawson's Blue Devils on ACCN.
Wes, Reed goes out of the game, as you mentioned, and that is his 2nd foul on an illegal screen.
Burns now against Marsh. Tried to throw it to DR and hit the underside of the basket at the rim, so it was not out of bounds. And it's basically turned over. 11th turnover tonight by the Wolfpack.
I think he'd have completed that pass had it not hit the rim. With the rim's out there, it doesn't move.
Salas, baseline. He's got 5 in a row now for Wake Forest.
And that's why he's so important, Wesley. Yep. Not only can he make the 3, but he can make that tough contested mid-range jumper.
12 points for Salas. The lead is 11 now. 9.5 to go. Morcell. O'Connell on the dump down here for Burns. He'll take Marsh and right off the glass, DJ Burns. 10 for Burns. The lead 9 now.
Burns really keeps the pressure on a defense. Do you double team or don't you? And if you don't, they clear the side for him. How do you stop him?
Here's Hildreth. Working against O'Connell. Into the lane, block Burns. Hildreth got it back. Salas for Miller. He'll square for a 3. Long rebound, Miller in the corner, saved it though to Burns, who'll loop it ahead. Here's Taylor, 3 on 2. Taylor, a little Euro, got to the basket and draws the Carr foul. First on Carr, it'll be 6 on Wake Forest.
Wes, you never throw the ball in underneath your own basket unless you know where you're throwing it. What that was basically by Boopy Miller. He got it to DJ Burns, so that's an outlet pass. And you think about an outlet pass. Burns, what a great pass down the court to keep the pressure on.
Taylor at the line is 4 for 6. NC State is 5 for 12 at the free throw line tonight. 9 points for Indianapolis' Jaden Taylor. You see Burns come out, Middlebrooks back. Wolfpack shot 50% in their loss to St. Louis earlier this season. I should say the win against St. Louis, 82-70, that followed the loss to Tennessee.
But Wes, with all that going on, they haven't made a three. They're shooting very poorly from the free throw line.
And it's a 7-point game.
It's a 7-point game.
Yep. And Cam Woods has checked into the lineup, playing for the first time in the second half. Number 2 in white for the Wolfpack. Woods wanted to foul, so did the Partisans here at PNC Arena.
Well, the Partisans here at PNC Arena want a lot of fouls, particularly when it's on the opposition.
Salas winding to the foul line.
That's great defense.
3 to shoot again. O'Connell. Hildreth just guns one up. Long rebound, Middlebrooks. State's getting stops, Dan.
Well, they're getting stops because they're keeping the ball out of the lane.
Here's Morcell. What the Wolfpack wouldn't do for a 3 here. O'Connell from Middlebrooks. All the way down on Carr. Up strong and scores. Big Ben's got his 3rd field goal tonight.
Wes, they'll take a power 2 as well.
Back to a 5-point game. State's had it to 2 possessions a couple of times here in the second half, and there's a midcourt foul on O'Connell. That'll get us to a timeout. 3rd on the grad transfer from Stanford. 4 on the Wolfpack. Timeout in Raleigh. Under 8 to go. The Deacs lead by 5.
Don't forget the hands with my Clark Spaces.
We have breaking news right now, so we wait to see how this plays out.
In all my years, I never watched anything like this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Mahomes. What a catch!
Hey, you gotta watch this. I'm watching.
Oh, I'm watching.
You might be done.
Now on SportsCenter, another wild night.
Watch me do this.
NBA Wednesday on ABC.
Added up shooting threes and I slam on them.
A new night every Wednesday in January. The league's biggest teams, the game's brightest stars.
We hold the rock, I got 2 hands on it. Half court, we shooting shots like we wide open. Woo!
NBA Wednesday on ABC, home of the NBA Finals.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC. The competition's never been better.
I would never let a woman do that.
The stars have never been brighter.
David Carr, 3,000 career points.
Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty. Amor magic. Something brewing tonight.
There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
Well, we're going to show you this game summary of a 5-point game with 7:45 to go, but letting you know as well that Wake shot 54% in the first half. NC State shot 56% in the first half. The second half's been an entirely different document, Ben Bonner.
Andrew Carr only has 1 point in the second half. Wake Forest has only made one of their 3-point field goals in the second half. The Deacs shot 14 free throws in the first half, only 3 here in the second half.
Here is Miller with Hildreth trying to beat Woods on the drive. Runs into traffic with Middlebrooks. Missed the shot, got it back, and won.
He's just relentless.
Yeah. Plays a lot bigger than 6'4" does Cam Hildreth.
Wes, this is a force. He forces this ball in, and it comes right back to him. Middlebrooks trying to get out of the way, and that allows Hildreth the position for the rebound. And, I mean, with Middlebrooks out of the play, there's nobody who can guard him in there.
So Hildreth ready to try and push it to 8. And the free throw no good. It was knocked away. Carr going to run it down right in front of Forbes in the corner.
That's a nice job by Marsh just to tip it out. Here he goes again.
All the way down. Middlebrooks bothered it and collects the rebound.
Again, I think that was a bit of a force there by Hildreth. Nice job by Middlebrooks to defend without fouling.
Morcell going to draw the Marsh foul. 7 now on Wake Forest. Second on Marsh with 7:18 to play.
Wes, and while we're talking about Marsh for Wake Forest, that reminds us the bench for Wake Forest is not really very deep. NC State's bench has 14 points and 15 rebounds tonight. The Wake bench, 2 points and 2 rebounds.
Ooh. Morcell, the first of 2. Fouled on the drive. And the free throw good. Don't forget, Saturday, another triple header comes your way here on ACC Network. 4 o'clock start at the Tucker Center. Clemson and Florida State, always good fun. Likewise, Virginia and Georgia Tech at 6 o'clock from Atlanta. And then the nightcap at 8 o'clock, Duke and Pitt. Saturday on ACC Network, streaming live on the ESPN app.
Wes, and that Virginia team, they have had no success on the road. And Georgia Tech is a team that plays pretty well at home.
Yep. So back to 7 at 62, or back to 5 rather at 62-57. O'Connell's getting a lot of minutes tonight. Here's Miller on travel call. Boopy got caught in the air.
He got caught in the air because Diarra did a great job sliding over at the last minute. Miller was going to take it all the way to the basket, and so and then he was going to take the short jump shot, but Diarra was there, would have blocked it.
O'Connell runs the offense. Horne's return to join Morcell, Diarra, and Middlebrooks. Here's Horne now. Double team coming. Out of his hands to Casey. Diarra looking for help and 10 to shoot, and here's O'Connell. Fredrickson defends him. Now Middlebrooks to Horne. 3 to shoot. Back to Middlebrooks. Strong to the basket and score. 8 for Middlebrooks. My goodness.
Yes, he has played a lot of minutes, and they have been productive minutes.
Ben Middlebrooks has got State to within 3. It's a 1-possession game for the first time in a long time. Carr stuck on the dribble, picks up 8 to shoot now for Miller. Trying to get baseline. Horne and Diarra in the double team. Wraps it to Carr. He's going to be called for the foul. Middlebrooks on the shot. And Kareem Richardson trying to keep the Wolfpack bench from busting at the thread.
This is great defensive pressure by North Carolina State on that last possession, but the last offensive possession, Ben Middlebrooks just goes right to the basket, and that's heavy pressure from Andrew Carr. And Miller is trapped. And Middlebrooks just gets Carr right across the arm. That was great defense there.
So here is Carr at the line to shoot 2. First one no good. And if you needed to know, the Wolfpack faithful here at PNC are ready to go. They have not led all night. Second one also out of there. Wow. A 3 will tie. They haven't had one of those tonight either. The lead or a three. O'Connell all the way down. Little two-pointer. Bounds away. Diarra the rebound. That's blocked, and it's a basket awarded to Mohamed Diarra. State to within one on Diarra's third field goal.
That's his fourth offensive rebound and 10th rebound off the bench.
Carr got a hand on it. Was the ball on the way down? I think it was. That would have been the only reason, right?
Yes, it didn't get to the backcourt. Now, that may be one they go and look at, Wes. They're allowed to review it at the next TV timeout.
So Salas against DJ Horne here. A 1-point lead for Wake Forest.
Wake Forest just can't get anything going on the offensive end because they can't get in the lane.
Miller going to be fouled on the drive, and if that's O'Connell, it is. It's his fourth. He is the first NC State player to four. 5:24 to play. And Wake Forest, the best shooting free throw team in the ACC in conference play, Dan, and 80% on the year, which also leads the league. We'll go to the line here for the 1-and-1 with Miller, who is 9 for 9.
Miller's 9 for 9, and these are important free throws. The Deeks have really not shot very well from the free throw line here in the second half.
Wake is 2 for 6.
2 for 6.
Yep. Here's Miller on a 1-and-1. And he made it. 10 in a row at the line for Boopy Miller, who now has 16 in the ball game. And DJ Burns replaces Ben Middlebrooks.
Now, the Middlebrooks-Burns combination has been very good tonight. On the year in ACC play, they average about 17 points and 8 rebounds a game. They're doing that tonight.
Miller made them both. 5.5, 17 now for Kevin Miller. Horne waiting on Burns. There's the screen. Here's Horne. He'll set up for a 2 and hit. No challenge from Marsh. 17 now for Horne. 6 in the second half and a timeout with 5:08 to play. 1-point game again. NC State has never led tonight. Wake's got the ball when we come back to PNC Arena in Raleigh. Well, 64-63, Dan, 5:08 to play. You see the particulars. Wake has the possession arrow. Both teams are in the bonus now with the opponents getting 7 fouls. And it feels like if momentum counts here, it feels like that NC State's got a good bit of it. DJ Burns, by the way, has come out of the game here as Wake Forest takes over at the defensive end of the floor.
And I think that's what it is. It's a defensive substitution. Efton Reed has come back in the game, and he has 4 personal fouls. The North Carolina State defensive pressure, not necessarily the full court pressure, but their half-court defensive pressure has really taken Wake Forest out of anything they want to do here in the second half.
Middlebrooks plays with 4 as well. Here's Hildreth. Middlebrooks trying to help. Now Carr thought about launching, 10 to shoot. Miller with Taylor defending.
Again, we're late in the shot clock.
3 to shoot. Carr in trouble. He's just going to fire and hits. Wow. Andrew Carr, his first field goal of the second half, now has 23 in the ball game.
And again, that was pretty good defense. They made him run the shot clock all the way down.
Diarra trying to take Carr baseline. in traffic. Backing all the way down. Diarra up strong. He's fouled by Reed, I believe. If that's Efton Reed, that's 5. It's not. It's Carr. It's his second. 18 fouls on Wake Forest. Mohamed Diarra is 0 for 2 tonight, 71% on the year.
Diarra just, I mean, he was backing in and he was very close to the basket. If you're going to double team him, you've got to double team him while he's dribbling the ball.
First one good.
And the Wolfpack, after struggling from the free throw line in the first half, have been much, much better here in the second.
Second one good. How about that? 8 for Diarra, 6 in the second half. It's back to a 1-point game ahead of 4 minutes.
Wesson, I think it's worth mentioning that Wake Forest comes in here as the top offensive team in the ACC, averaging better than 80 points a game in conference play. They're not going to get there today.
Here's Reed. Back to Miller with 10 to shoot. Taylor's there. Here goes Miller. Kick out. Now in the corner. Carr for 3. Andrew Carr, a big bucket. 5 in a row for Carr at the Wake end of the floor.
That's as good an offensive possession as Wake has had in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Diarra a 3. Off the mark. Wolfpack still hitless from behind the line. That'll be a foul on Middlebrooks. What do we have here? Trey Steins and Jeffrey Anderson.
It might be a traveling violation.
Foul will be on Middlebrooks. That is 4 on Middlebrooks. It's 8 on the Wolfpack. Andrew Carr scored Wake's last 5. They've got a 4-point lead in Raleigh when we continue.
It's bow time.
Hey, sweetie.
Hey, Mom. I land at 3.
Any ideas for your first meal home?
Bojangles?
Well, you don't want my cooking. Well, okay.
This holiday, order your family favorites in the Bojangles app. Now that tastes like home. It's bow time.
The competition's never been better.
Have never let a woman do that.
The stars have never been brighter.
Hayden Carr, 3,000 career points.
Come on, Cameron Brink.
Deja Kelly.
Oh, that was pretty. A-more magic. Something brewing tonight.
There's no stopping us now.
This is just spectacular.
That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
I'm here courtside. Watch this.
You have got to watch this replay, folks.
Watch this, watch this.
Watch me, do this.
The most passion, the most intensity. This is the way basketball's supposed to be.
Taking a tour, I'm wrecking the land. I keep it hardcore cause it's dope, man.
What better way to get the juices flowing and to get your adrenaline going? That's it, Jerome!
I keep it hardcore like you never saw your wannabe. You wannabe.
Australian Open hits different on the networks of ESPN.
The competition's never been better.
This is just spectacular.
The stars have never been brighter. That's our move. Women's college hoops on ESPN and ABC.
Forest leading 69-65, 3:31 to play now at PNC Arena in Raleigh tonight. In a game that's seen NC State scoreless from behind the line and have never led. Their Deacons are benefiting tonight from Andrew Carr's career-high 25 It's his 4th time this year with 20 or more. First time in the ACC, Dan. The others, Mighty Elon, Florida, and Presbyterian this year. Free throw here for Reed after Middlebrooks committed his 4th.
Well, they're certainly glad they brought him along.
And Reed misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
Wake Forest is now 4 of 9 from the free throw line in the second half.
Horne on the floor with Middlebrooks. Burns is at the end of the Wolfpack bench. Here's Middlebrooks, strong to the basket. He's going to draw the foul from Reed, and that's his 5th.
Wes, and that, as a 7-foot guy, that's really hard to let that one go, but Reed has to let it go. And that's his 5th foul, Wes. And again, remember, he committed 2 fouls on illegal screens.
Right. Efton Reed is going to foul out for the 2nd time in conference play. And DJ Burns taken ill a moment ago at the NC State bench, and you see he's headed to the locker room.
I think they took him out of view, and they had a trash can with him. So.
Middlebrooks the free throw. 9 for Ben Middlebrooks, Dan, who came in averaging 5 points and 4 rebounds in his last 4 games, 7 points, 5 rebounds in his last 6. And he's got double figures tonight.
Ref, after shooting 5 for 11 from the line in the first half, NC State is now 8 for 9 in the second half.
Wolfpack to within 2. Carr working against Diarra.
And Middlebrooks is just playing center field in the middle of the lane, not even guarding Marsh.
Blocked by Middlebrooks and a foul on Carr. That'll be 9 on Wake Forest, and Ben Middlebrooks has got a chance to tie the ball game at the line.
Again, Middlebrooks leaves Marsh, and he attacks Carr. And Carr, Marsh is not really all that open inside, but that's what the North Carolina State defense is doing. They're helping off Marsh.
11 in the game for Middlebrooks.
And with DJ Burns under the weather, that's really a key contribution.
Yep. Free throw, good. We're tied for the first time since 14. 69 all. Diarra. Here's Salas against Horne. Into traffic with a right hand, rattled out. Diarra, another rebound. 13 rebounds for Mohamed Diarra. Tied with 2:28 to go in Raleigh. Morcell fights in traffic. Scoop and foul by Hildreth. It'll be the 3rd on Hildreth and the 10th on the Deacons with 2:17 to play.
Yes, and that is a big storyline. Against Florida State, Wake Forest has down the stretch committed a lot of fouls. Florida State kept going to the free throw line, and that's what we're seeing here.
So here's Morcell.
And at 10, he's got, of course, it was a shooting foul, but all of their shots all their free throws are going to be 2-shot attempts now.
Free throw for Morcell, and the Wolfpack leads for the first time tonight with 2:17 to go in the ball game. Casey Morcell, the grad student from Fort Washington, Maryland. Knocks them both down.
Now Hildreth able to get the ball in bounds a little easier. He didn't have to use the trick play like he did before the last possession.
71-69, the Wolfpack in front. Taylor knocks it away from Miller. Tried to get a timeout called. Rolling timeout awarded to Jaden Taylor. NC State's going to take the timeout. And I think they're going to take the floater. It's a 30-second timeout taken by Taylor. Look at this, Dan.
Well, how many times have we seen Boopy Miller fumble the ball on the dribble? And you got to credit that to Taylor. Miller now has 6 turnovers in the game.
So it was a 30-second timeout awarded to NC State. Some of you may be joining us looking for Georgia Tech and Clemson. That ball game is starting on the ESPN app coming up here in about a minute or so with Jay Alter and Debbie Antonelli at Little John Coliseum tonight. I'll tell you what, if Jay and Debbie sign up for all the fun Dan and I've had here tonight, they're in for a real night. This has been some kind of second half. And it's been, we don't say this very much, this has been full contact hand-to-hand basketball tonight.
No kidding.
Morcell with Horne. You got Taylor on the floor with Diarra and Middlebrooks.
And Diarra and Middlebrooks have both had fantastic games tonight for North Carolina State.
2 minutes to go. Wolfpack in front for the first time tonight after the Morcell free throw.
And the conference's leading offensive team needs to stop, and they don't get it. They haven't stopped that play one time tonight.
8-0 run by the Pack has pushed the lead to 4. Salas against Horne. Middlebrooks plays with 4 fouls. He tried to help on the double team. Carr, 10 to shoot for Hildreth against Casey Morcell. Back from Miller against Taylor. In traffic, scooped it up, won't go. Carr the rebound, and 1 on the foul against Diarra. Andrew Carr continues to add to his career night. That gives him 27. Mohamed Diarra commits his first. It's the 9th on NC State.
That's really a force by Miller on the inside. Of course, the clock was running down. There wasn't much else he could do, but that is a huge rebound by Carr. Miller drew all the attention, and Carr was open for the offensive rebound.
Carr to try and draw the Deacs to within a point. And the free throw bounces in.
And now again, Wake Forest looking for a stop, and they just have not been able to stop that penetration into the lane by DJ Horne for the jump shot. Ooh.
1 minute to go in Raleigh. It's a 1-point lead. Horne had it poked away. Keeps it from Middlebrooks. 6 to shoot. Ben on the drive. Got all the way to the basket. And 1! Oh, my goodness!
Oh, I don't know. Now we got a double technical, and one of the technicals is on Middlebrooks, and
That's
now there's another technical on Diarra. So what I saw was 2 technicals on North Carolina State, 1 on Wake Forest.
So Middlebrooks went to the basket, scored, and draws the foul.
Boy, that was some sequence right there.
So Middlebrooks, if a double technical's been called on Salas and Middlebrooks, Salas will have his 4th, Middlebrooks will have his 5th. Then there may have been another one administered to Diarra.
I thought they called a technical on Diarra.
And in a 3-point game here with 48 seconds left, we're going to have a bunch of free throws.
Wow. So Middlebrooks takes, and Carr loses his balance, now commits the foul. And Middlebrooks is not trying to run into Salas, but he does. Salas says something to him. They go jaw to jaw. There's a double technical called, and then Diarra goes after Salas as well.
Well, now Jeffrey Anderson across the way here is talking to the scorebook official at the table, and then Trey Steins and Jeb Hartness are at the monitor here.
Well, in a situation like this, there was all kinds of people out on the court. Did anybody from the bench come out on the court?
Right.
If players from any of the benches came out on the court, then they, by rule, they've got to leave the game. They're ejected from the game. The other thing here.
So one more look again at the sequence. You see Middlebrooks the basket. He bumps into Salas. Then they get nose to nose. And Jeffrey Anderson quickly calls double technical fouls on Salas and Middlebrooks, and then Diarra and Salas end up in the front row of the seats down to our right here.
But that's a great job. What you saw, the North Carolina coaching staff kept all their players on the bench.
Yep. Kareem Richardson, remember now, he's kind of running the show at the bench now with Kevin Keatts being ejected late in the first half.
Well, here's the other thing, Wes. After you sort through all these technicals, play picks up where it left off, and where it left off is Middlebrooks shooting a free throw, but he can't shoot a free throw because he's out of the game.
Right.
But we got a lot to sort out over there.
Yep, and we're going to see what Jeffrey Anderson and Jeb Hartness come away with on the video review. In addition, if you have the technical on Salas, the technical on Middlebrooks, and then another one I think was issued to Diarra. If so, that puts free throws in play, and then the possession belongs to NC State, who's shooting a free throw on the Middlebrooks basket.
Yes.
Now that foul was called on Carr, which is his 4th. So Carr now has 4 fouls, all in the second half. And at some point, we will get an interpretation on the proceedings here, and we'll see where we stand here.
Well,
we got a 3-point game after the made basket by Middlebrooks, and we're going to see what happens with the number of free throws. Could determine where the margin is, Dan, when we play again.
And what we have explained, Wes, what you did a great job explaining was technical foul on Middlebrooks, technical foul on Salas, double technical, and then another technical on Diarra. But we have not had that confirmed yet.
Right.
Okay, all right, Wes. Now, what we've just been told is there are 2 double technical fouls. Middlebrooks and Salas got called for a double technical foul. Diarra got called for a technical foul, but we understand now that Salas was also called for a technical foul. Okay. So that means that not only is Middlebrooks out of the game, but Salas now, with 2 technical fouls in that sequence, is also out of the game. So since there were 2 technical fouls on each side, there will be no free throws. The free throws cancel out.
So now it basically resolves itself back to NC State going to the free throw line, right?
Right.
Somebody will shoot for Middlebrooks.
A one-shot
foul.
One-shot foul. And it can't be Middlebrooks.
Right. So now they got to get the bookkeeping squared away across. And Salas, by the way, would have 2 technical fouls and be ejected. Those 2 fouls, by the way, those 2 technicals happen to be 5 fouls on Hunter Salas as well. Diarra will be tagged with a 2nd foul. So he has 2 remaining. Middlebrooks has fouled out of the game, by the way, with a season high and career high 14 points with 48.6 left.
Wes, during this latest stretch by North Carolina State, Middlebrooks was front and center.
Yep. I think he and Diarra, regardless of how this comes out at the end, and NC State's got to like it up 3 now with 48.6 left. I would say this, Ben Middlebrooks and Mohamed Diarra have kind of put themselves in a position now, Dan, where I think NC State can look to them confidently really at both ends of the floor.
Well, I would agree with that. And the other thing, Wes, as you think about Wake Forest trying to rally from the deficit, whether it be 3 or 4 points, Salas is their best 3-point shooter. You're talking about Middlebrooks and Diarra. They have combined, Wes, today for 22 points and 21 rebounds.
Right. So we're waiting on Jeffrey Anderson, Trey Steins, and Jeb Hartness to finish. And we're going to have Trey Steins come tell us, I think, what has been determined here. And I'll let Dan handle the dissertation with Trey.
I'm really interested in what he has to say.
All right, so Trey Steins We'll tell Dan what has transpired here. And we will get some resolve as to where the game is going to go with 48.6 left. Don't forget Georgia Tech and Clemson still to come tonight on ACC Network. Jay Alter, Debbie Antonelli. That has started over on the ESPN app. And we will send you to Clemson as soon as we are done here in Raleigh. And Jeffrey Anderson talking to Steve Forbes, along with Jeb Hartness there. So Trey Steins has finished giving Dan a fairly lengthy update.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Okay, what do we have here?
Well, what do we have is that it is as we thought. Middlebrooks and Salas got a double technical foul.
Okay.
Then Diarra and Salas headbutted one another.
Okay.
So they got dead ball technical fouls, and they both have been ejected from the game.
Okay. So Diarra is out.
Diarra is out.
But he's standing on the floor.
Yeah, but I just was told he's out. Diarra is out. Middlebrooks is out. Salas is out. And so what has to happen now is North Carolina State has to put somebody in for Middlebrooks to shoot the free throw.
There's Jeb Hartness to clarify a little more. So Diarra will head to the tunnel.
So Kareem Richardson not letting any grass grow under his feet. He puts in O'Connell, who is a 90% free throw shooter, to shoot the shot for Middlebrooks.
Correct.
He hadn't taken a free throw today.
So here's O'Connell to try and make it a 4-point game with 48.6 left. And does. All right.
And now you got to score really quickly.
Fredrickson, Miller, Hildreth, Marsh, and Carr on the floor for Wake Forest. Dennis Parker Jr. is out there now with Taylor, Morsell, O'Connell, and Horne. And a three ball is no good. And the rebound handled by Taylor.
He's got a foul now.
And there's a backcourt foul on Hildreth. His fourth. Taylor will go to the line. Foul in the backcourt on Hildreth. So 2 shots here for Jaden Taylor.
And in conference play, Taylor's above 90% from the line.
4-point game. And our big Bo moment brought to you by Bojangles. It is Jaden Taylor and pure 100% hustle, Dan. Gets a timeout called, and what happens after the timeout? DJ Horne goes to work, and it just bought NC State more momentum than Wake Forest could handle, it looks like.
The key to this second half has been with intensity on the defensive end by North Carolina State.
Miller foul from behind by Taylor. Runner, he held up in the air, third on Taylor, 10 on NC State. So Miller's going to shoot 2 free throws now on the 10th Wolfpack foul with 23.5 left.
Well, he certainly didn't want to commit a foul in that situation.
So Miller at the line.
This has been some turnaround in the second half.
Yep, been a terrific gut check by Kevin Keatts' team.
No question.
Miller free throw good.
And Wes, keep this in mind too. North Carolina State has not made a 3-point basket in this game.
Yep, they have not.
DJ Horne has been fabulous offensively, but it's all been in the lane basically.
Second one good by Miller. And substitution. Here comes Abramo Zanka for Wake Forest. It has been since December 30th of 2014 against Cincinnati that the Wolfpack has not made a 3. And there's a quick foul by Buki Miller. It's his third. And it'll put O'Connell back on the line. And Steve Forbes has now got to try and extend the game as much as he can with 22.9 left. It is already 2 possessions at 4. The question is, can O'Connell force NC State to make Wake shoot 3s? And that's what the free throws come to here.
Well, and the interesting thing is there's good free throw shooters out on the court for North Carolina State. Parker's the worst one, and they kept him very far away from the basketball. And if you're North Carolina State, you know that at this point in the game, all you have to do is defend the 3. If Wake Forest gets down and gets a 2, it's not really that big a deal.
So here's Miller. He's going to scoop it up. Taylor's already met him in the backcourt. Wake will try for 3 here, and they're going to get Parker leaning in, stopping the clock with 18.5 left. And that's going to put Miller back to the line where Boopie Miller is spotless, Dan. 13 of 13 tonight. And now Jeffrey Anderson is back to the monitor here.
I think he's looking to see if Miller's really the guy who's supposed to go to the free throw line.
Okay.
But that was just to play Parker. You just got to get out of the way.
So Miller is at the line.
If I'm Wake Forest, and I'm Miller, I'm going to the line.
So it is Miller at the stripe.
For 2.
Yep. Couple of free throws here. And he's got his 20th point. I mean, not many times do you see a guard go for 20 and only have 3 field goals. Just saying. 80-75. Second one good.
And you got a foul right away.
Here's O'Connell, and Fredrickson will commit the personal.
NC State, Wes, after being 5 for 11 from the line in the first half,
yes, sir,
is 17 for 18 in the second half.
And back to a 4-point game. 255th time these two have squared off. They first played in what is believed to be, from the record book, January of 2011. NC State won 19-8 the second meeting after Wake won the first meeting 33-6.
That would be 1911.
January 1911.
Right.
What is recorded to be January of 1911. Hildreth a long miss on the 3, and Wake is not going to foul, and NC State down 10. Now they do foul. And Andrew Carr commits the foul. That'll be his 5th. And this Wolfpack crowd at PNC Arena wasn't so sure at halftime they were going to get this outcome, but they're glad they did.
Wes, their defensive pressure in the second half was a big key. Their ability to get to the free throw line and convert was a big key. Wake Forest just wasn't able to get in any sort of an offensive rhythm in the second half.
Horne's free throw, and DJ Horne, a terrific effort. That is now 9 in the second half and 20 in the ball game for Horne. 5th game of the year, 2nd in a row with 20 or more, is 3rd in the ACC. How about that? And that is it. What a win for NC State. 5-1 for the first time since Fire and Ice and Jimmy V.